Lawton, Merritt. Some people call me Little Johnny because I wrote this book, Little Johnnie Off the Block. I'm making no secret I've lived a very dangerous and criminal lifestyle. Many years I spent in the streets, in the game, hustling, being under indictment, went to prison several times. And now what I do is I'm a sought-after speaker. I work in social service, mental health. I develop programs. I'm a person that's passionate about my community and about using my gifts, my skills to be able to communicate messages that you can relate to.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ivory Toldson, and I've written 3 books. The first book I wrote was a novel called Black Sheep: When the American Dream Becomes a Black Man's Nightmare, and I'll just talk about that one. The other 2 books is one is called Black People Don't Read, which is a book that debunks some of the stereotypes that we think about black people. And my most recent book is called Black Male Teachers: Diversifying the Nation's Teacher Workforce, which is a book that's designed to give teacher educators the tools that they need to best prepare black men for the teaching profession. Black Sheep was inspired by a lot of the experiences that I had as a graduate student and working in communities that had a lot of kids that were in poverty and that were having a difficult time, and then subsequently working in the criminal justice system.
Hi, I'm Yashi McGowan. I have 3 books out. My first one, all 3 are self-published. My first one is an erotica novel. It has a mix that hits the LGBT community and also just everyone else. It's like a crime suspense, kind of like New York Undercover with a twist of Zane. My second book is called Not Mine to Keep. It's an urban fiction, kind of based off of Love and Basketball, the movie, but it has a lot of real life tragedies, from to domestic violence to single parent moms settling just so they're not lonely and stuff like that. It's actually a love suspense, so it's a really cool love story. And then my third one is a book of poems called Bipolar Manics. It's a lot of highs and lows poems. You have some hate poems, some love poems, some mess up society poems. It's just basically what the title says.
I am Stormey Ramdhan. This is my first book that I've written. It's a memoir, and it's about, it's basically covering my experiences of over 20 years with the most feared man in hip hop to others. I'm not very fearful of him, but the man is known as Suge Knight. So I'm new to the book world, and I'm a new author, and I hope that everyone enjoys it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Can we give them a welcome? I think we all wanted to know initially, how were you able to get published? Like, what was the process through that?
Self-published first book, Little Johnnie Off the Block. It's a process. Anytime you go into a new endeavor, it requires research, reading, studying, reading Reader's Digest, looking at marketing books, trying to take a look at copywriting, got to contact printers. I remember when I first got the book printed, it was printed in Cork Express. Now they're using InDesign. Different things that you go through. You find all these different aspects that go along with publishing.
You raised a lot of good points, and one of the points that you made that I want to underscore is that being a writer and publishing are 2 different processes. And you really have to focus on being a writer first and focus on getting published later. And writing fiction versus nonfiction are 2 different processes.
I use a lot of technology. I go through CreateSpace. It's a free publishing website. I get a certain amount of royalties that go straight to Amazon. You can self-publish for free on Kindle, and then you get like 70% royalties back. You set your own price. My first book, took about 4 years because I just sat it down. It wasn't important to me, so I didn't want to figure out the means to do it. And then I got bored at work, and I just decided to finish it. And it took me about a month to finish it. I had the means to pay an editor, so she took 4 days to edit it, and then it was published the next day.
Once I felt like I had the ending or the conclusion of what my life was with him, then it was pretty easy to get published. There was a lot of interest in the story, so I didn't really find much difficulty there. So that was pretty, that was pretty pleasing to me.
What was the most difficult part about getting these books together? Was there a certain book that you found to be more difficult to just get out, not even as publishing, but yourself as a writer to actually write it?
I had these big ambitions and thinking, okay, I'm going to go out, change the world, sell millions of copies. But then, destiny, and I found myself getting involved deeper into social service and mental health, and at the agency, and working with young black males in other capacities and teaching. And so then I started working with a lot of schools. So that was like that little lapse right there.
I think starting is always difficult too. When I was starting to write my first book, because I had the idea in my head for so long, and I would try to start writing, and I would just keep aborting the attempts. I never really liked the way that it was starting.
My biggest issue is marketing. Like, I don't have a team. I don't have somebody who's in the marketing field or anything like that. It's just me. So just recently, I've been self-published for over a year now. Just recently, I created a website, took the time to go and actually get pictures done for my website to brand myself. So that's the hardest part. Is after I'm done with that, I can do that. That's easy. That's just like that for me. It's now I have to brand myself and get myself out there. And with me being where I'm at, I don't know anyone. So now I have to take that time and make it important to socialize and connect and network and do things like that. So
I have a preteen and I have a teenager, and I had to make sure that it was okay with him to share these things. And once my kids gave me the okay, like, Mom, we're ready to share our story, because we've been living behind the shadows, sort of like in secrecy, where people didn't quite know what was going on. We just kind of kept a smile on our face and just sort of lived life, but people didn't understand that we were going through a difficult time. So that was really hard to share with everyone.
At what point the little Johnny, is it just you? Is it the community? Where do you find, because you said you're on Little Johnny 3 now, right?
Right.
Little Johnny 3. Yeah. Little Johnny 3. So is it still more so stories or things that you've gone through? Is it more community based now? You said you're collaborating with other people for this.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, a lot of people come to me and they say, am I Little Johnny? I look at Little Johnny as not just a character in the book. You can find Little Johnny. You look out in the audience. You see Little Johnny all in here. Little Johnny, it's all of us. Sometimes people don't see themselves as Little Johnny. They see that disconnect. They don't see themselves as him. It's almost like, oh, that's him going through this, but not me. But I kind of try to, help people kind of see that point. But to answer your question, I started ministry, Little Johnny Ministry. So a lot of stuff kind of revolves around the Little Johnny brand now. We mentioned branding earlier. So it connects around the brand now, which is ministry. The ministry really revolves around a literacy initiative. Sometimes people think about ministry, they connect it, mainly to the church. Of course, I'm a Christian, but it connects to literacy initiative. Ultimately, helping the disparities and reading, and then, we want to, push that issue, helping our young people see the value and also developing them in that area. So that's what the initiative is all about.
As a beginning writer myself, I've learned so much. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to be here with us. So let's thank our authors.
Give me Little Johnny Productions at yahoo.com. That's LILJOHNNIEPRODUCTIONS at yahoo.com. Give me on my Facebook, Lawton Ivory, Merritt.
My Twitter account is Toldson, at Toldson, TOLDSON. My website is Toldson.com. And my YouTube channel is Ivory06. And I'm also on Facebook.
My Instagram and Twitter is ArthurYM, and then I have a website, ArthurYM.net.
My Twitter and Instagram is Miss Stormy. That's with the EYMS at Miss Stormy at whatever, at Yahoo, no. At Twitter and Instagram, and the website is stormythebook.com. And Facebook is Stormy Ramdhan.